Hello and welcome along to an episode of PL Seasons to Remember, and as ever today we are joined by Bob. Evening, Bob.
Evening.
And today we are also joined by Bob's brother Danny. Danny, all right?
Yeah, I'm not bad, mate. Not bad at all.
Today we're joined for another episode of the Premier League 11, our great Premier League 11, and we're going to have a look at Danny's. But before we go to Bob for the rules, Dan, just want to give us a bit of a brief information about yourself and who you support and how long you've been watching football. So take it away, Dan.
Well, I'm a big Man United fan. Been watching football for, old now, 38. At least 30 years. I can't really remember where I started. I've actually got a picture here.
I like how this is a Man United fan, but we've got a Barcelona shirt in the background.
I just wanted some football shirts, but I don't know if you can see that properly. That's
my
me and my dad at Old Trafford, where Dougie shining in it. That's it. I can't really remember exactly when I started playing Man United. I think it was probably 91 because I started getting into football in World Cup Italia 90. And that's when I fell in love with football. And
Did you watch Cup Winners' Cup when they won that?
The first game I remember watching Man United playing, my mum was shouting because, we knew Gazza and Lineker from World Cup, and my mum was shouting Tottenham, no one can stop them. So I started shouting that because I was a kid. And I said to my dad, "Oh, do you support?" And he goes, "Oh, other team." So that was it. Then I was like, "Right, my dad supports that team. That's good enough for me." So I started supporting Man United. So if anyone knows when that, I guess it would be an FA Cup game if it was on terrestrial TV, because you didn't get football games, did you then?
Well, if it was 91, you must have got knocked out because they won it that year.
Well, maybe we did. I don't know, but yeah, that was the day I started supporting Man United.
I think ITV used to have some league games because on that thing I watched the other day that when football changed forever, they had some. But it said they used to be on like once in a blue moon. It wasn't like a weekly thing or a monthly thing. There'd just be random games on now and then.
Yeah, I just presumed it was a league game. A cup game. I don't know then, but yeah.
Right.
Cool. Thank you, Dan. It's nice to see that you still got the shirt when you were little.
This is actually my wife's shirt. It looks like a Hobbit version of a Man United shirt, but it's just my wife's shirt. That's what it is, because I've only got that Umbro top, which is from years and years and years ago that I bought, and it's that big. It's like wearing a tent. It's huge.
Put that one on next time. We're good to see a different one.
Yeah, but I don't actually have a Man United shirt anymore. I let all my shirts go. I had the treble winning top as well, and I let it go. I wish I hadn't done that now, but when you're clearing out your wardrobes and you're moving, it's one of the things.
I donated all mine to Africa, so I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's what I did actually.
Yeah, went to a good cause.
Yeah.
So Bob, thank you, Dan. So Bob, we'll go to you for the rules, and then we'll just go back and look at the teams that we had. So Danny's got a bit of an idea, and then we'll go to Danny's 1 to 11.
Yep, so the rules are you got to pick 11 Premier League players, so from 1992 to now. They can't play for your team, though. That's one of the rules. You got to pick a manager. They can't manage your team. So like I said last time, if I'd have wanted to say Benitez, I couldn't have picked him because he's managed Liverpool and Chelsea, which I won't pick him, but that was just an example. You pick a captain and a formation. So the formation's important because I think, for me, I let the formation dictate my manager when I picked mine. And then you got 3 honourable mentions, and you could have one defender, one midfielder, and one forward. We probably should have had a sub goalie, but looking at it now, but we didn't, so we're not adding one now.
Perfect. So do you want me to do my team now?
No, I think we want to recap our teams, don't we? So you can go first if you want, Dougie.
Yeah, okay. So my 1 to 11, I said it was still quite a difficult thing to...
Well, tell us your formation first. What was your formation?
So, formation is a typical formation now, 4-3-3. I said in the last podcast that sort of 4-4-2 is sort of out of football now, compared to what it used to be like back when Danny were young and we were all sort of first starting to watch football. It was more 4-4-2 than anything else. So I've gone with Petr Cech in goal. I've gone Tony Adams and John Terry at the back, Tony Adams being captain. I've gone Ashley Cole left back, Gary Neville at right back. And then I've got Patrick Vieira in midfield with Santi Cazorla, Frank Lampard, and front three are Robert Pires, Kevin De Bruyne, and Thierry Henry. And subs is Rio Ferdinand, David Silva, and Didier Drogba.
Right. So I had 4-3-3 as well, which dictated my manager, which I'll get into. My goalkeeper was Peter Schmeichel, centre backs Tony Adams and Vidic, with Tony Adams being captain. Everett left back, Zabaleta right back. Midfield three of Vieira, Keane and Gerrard. Right wing Ronaldo, left wing Henry, centre forward Shearer. Manager Pep Guardiola. Sub defender Carragher. Sub midfielder Paul Scholes and sub forward Aguero. And my team would destroy Dougie's team. But
my manager was Arsene Wenger.
Oh yeah, I forgot you didn't mention that, did you? So I went for Guardiola because I thought he'd suit my system. That's why I went for him.
Well, I went for a bit of a slightly different approach to you guys, because I was saying to Bob earlier, I didn't pick anybody who's currently playing, or I think none of them are currently playing, or if they are, they're at the back end of the careers anyway.
I only had really Zabaleta, I think, who's probably still playing. I don't think any other ones are.
I think when you look back at players, you kind of appreciate them a bit more. I think
Yeah.
sometimes you overrate them a little bit as well, but I think you appreciate them a bit more where now, especially if they're like rivals and stuff, you don't look at them like you do. Because I remember back in the day, that Arsenal team, and you look back at it now and you appreciate what it was. They were rivals of Man United, so you didn't really care whether they were.
You're not going to give credit to
Well,
certain.
you care, obviously, but you didn't really appreciate them as players because you kind of didn't like them. So, do you want me to go through my team then?
Yeah, just Dougie, you talking through what? So say, give me a goalkeeper and all that, and then you. First thing we need is your formation.
I went 4-3-3 as well.
So Dan, what we'll do is if you start with your goalkeeper, like a bit of a brief discussion on why you picked the goalkeeper, and then pick your two defenders, central defenders, and then put through them, and even then we'll just talk through the couple of players that you've got, and then
So my goalkeeper was Peter Cech. I think around that time Marino was there. He was probably the best keeper in the world at that time. Marino's teams were hard to break down, but then you had probably the best goalkeeper in the world behind that. It was just virtually impossible. I remember the Sun newspaper did a thing, didn't they, where they were going to give so much money to the first player who scored against Chelsea. Yeah. I mean, it was just so hard to break.
Do you remember who it was?
Wasn't it some guy from a lower league team?
It was somebody from Aston Villa. Luke Moore.
Well, they're going to get relegated, so.
He scored and we went straight back up park and equalised.
I think everyone was just happy that somebody had scored against you.
Yeah. I think Marino got actually. Peter Cech's got the most Premier League clean sheets ever as well. I can't remember how many it is, but it's a lot.
His stats are unbelievable, aren't they? Yeah. So what was the next you wanted me to do? Centre backs. Well, I went for Terry, who was my captain. He was just superb. I think I'll tell you how good he is, right? A central defender without pace, usually you don't want them. I think that's something that someone like Harry Maguire is struggling with at the minute. I don't think he's particularly playing badly or anything, but I think his lack of pace sometimes catches him out. He was that good, it didn't really in most games matter. I know Chelsea at that time played a little bit deeper, but still I just thought the way he organised it.
Yeah. We talked about it, didn't we, on last episode?
I think he's definitely in the top three defenders probably in the Premier League of all time, the best. Not including like players that play now. I mean, Van Dijk when he retires, you might think, oh, he's the best, or you might think he's in the top three. So I'm not including him in that. So we'll see what he's doing at the end. My other centre back also could have been my captain, to be honest, and that's Vincent Kompany. He was superb, absolutely superb. For City are an attacking team, and when your defence is that good as they were, you know that they've got a good leader in there and a good central defender. And I think you can tell since he's left what they look like at the back.
Yeah.
And he was just.
I don't think John Stones will be making anyone's list.
To be honest with you, Dan, I think even with Kompany was the best centre back that's been at City, and even when he was playing, he was making how bad sort of the rest of them were, because there were no one that Otamendi used to play him. Otamendi wasn't very good. John Stones played him. John Stones very good. Laporte played him.
Lescott looked better with him.
Decent with him. So I think even though he was very, very injury prone, without Kompany in the team, City's defence didn't look. I don't think City's defence is actually very good now. I just think He was very good, and I think he was the difference.
He was a leader, though. One who like Terry that just organised the defence, so it don't matter who you put alongside him, that could help him anyway.
I do think Guardiola teams don't need to have great defenders, though. Like if you look at Barcelona, because I don't think PK is a brilliant defender.
No, I don't.
But he can play the ball. And it's about playing the ball out.
I think he got found out when Guardiola left. I know he's getting older anyway, but he didn't look anywhere near as good. No. And it's because he didn't keep the ball as much.
But he could play the ball, couldn't he?
Yeah. He couldn't get it there back four, though.
That was that's what they didn't lose the ball, did they? Yeah, and Busquets used to protect him as well. Yeah,
exactly. So, what do you want next, right back or left back?
Just gives both, yeah.
Well, right back, this was a toss-up between three players. I'll mention the other one because he didn't make it. It was Lee Dixon. I thought Lee Dixon was a cracking right back. And when he started looking for the right backs, I've heard people slag off Gary Neville saying, "How can he be the best Premier League right back?" Have a look. He's clearly for me the best.
Yeah, I mean, I went for Zabaleta myself, but just because of my system. But I could have easily gone Garrett because Zabaleta were good, I think, as well.
Yeah.
There ain't many. There's more left backs.
There's another defender that's on my bench who is actually a right back who I thought was really good as well. But Zabaleta was just great, bombing forward. He's exactly on from a full back. He did both defending. I don't think he was a brilliant defender, but he was a good defender and he was brilliant going forward. And then left back, I think there's if you can't pick Patrice Evra, there's one other choice and it's Ashley Cole.
Yeah, we said the same thing, didn't we?
Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable player. Yeah. And one player who actually used to have a good game against Ronaldo, which didn't happen to many players who used to play quite well against him. But again, just great going forward, but we're also comfortable at defending, and that's hard to find. So yeah, he was my left back, and he was good at Arsenal and at Chelsea. So it doesn't seem to matter where he went. He was good. I think he was pretty decent. I know it's America, but still, I think he was pretty decent there. He was just getting old. So, but yeah, that's my back four, and you'll start noticing a pattern. Actually, they all played for Man United rivals.
Well, yeah, that's where you go for, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I remember that game when they put it on Sky over there, didn't they, where Ronaldo asked to come off because he would play Ashley Cole. They just couldn't get past Ashley Cole. They were getting annoyed, weren't they? So he has to be subbed off. But everyone's got a nemesis, haven't they?
Yeah, you find that. Well, I remember Raphael for Man United, and I honestly thought we sold him too early, but he wasn't the best defender, but Gareth Bale couldn't do anything against him.
No, you find that, yeah.
Yeah, against Basingua and Messi.
yeah, that was a weird one because he was rubbish.
but Bale had to be switched into like the centre attacking midfield role because he couldn't get past Raphael, and then he started to play, but it shows you sometimes. It
was like Jermaine Pennant used to absolutely rag Ashley Cole, and it's like of all the players. But I think that's maybe because he trained with him, he probably knew how it worked. But it was so weird. Like some play, like you remember about Terry Heskey used to give Terry trouble, and like Henry didn't used to do out against Terry, but Heskey used to make Terry have nightmares. So everyone's got a nemesis, haven't they, like we said?
Yeah. So
apparently Messi's is Bossingua.
So if I move into midfield, I've got a midfield three, and I'll start off with the guy who I'd play, not necessarily CDM, but he'd be the one who's saying hang back a bit, and that's Patrick Vieira. Superb player, and I miss his battles with Roy Keane because they were just something to watch, and they created fire. And I actually think since Keane and Vieira went, and then maybe even to a little bit less of extent Fergie and Wenger went, it's kind of lost. It's not even like a big game anymore when you watch Arsenal versus.
No, it's not. No,
it's just lost all that fire. But those two specifically made it an unbelievable game to watch.
I think there's more fire in Man City, Man United now than there is in Man United, Arsenal.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, all the players are different, and they've not really had a title challenge together, so the rivalry.
No, that's true. Yeah.
But so Vieira would sit behind my other two midfield players. He's one of them, and he's good enough going forward as well. So
yeah.
But yeah, and then I think there's only two other midfielders you could really pick for me, and I'm going to just cover them both off together. It's Lampard and Gerrard. And if you can sit somebody behind them two, you're absolutely laughing. The one thing England couldn't really get right, was it? I mean, we tried Gareth Barry and it almost worked, but they were both great goal scorers. Got into the box late, so exactly on. I mean, Gerrard had a bit of everything, didn't he? Tackling, heading.
That's what I said last time, yeah.
He had a bit of everything. Still not as good as Paul Scholes, but I just want to say on that, though, I think it's a really stupid argument. It's like Messi versus Ronaldo. If you look at Messi and Ronaldo, right, they're not even the same kind of player.
No, we said this last episode, didn't we? Yeah.
Playing together, just enjoy it. And it's like Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes. I don't think
Lampard, we've got one.
Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes. I don't think any of them are identical. They've got similarities in certain things, but they weren't the same player. So
we said on last episode about how Lampard and Gerrard, they finally figured it out when they had Hargreaves, but then Hargreaves got injured, for England.
Yeah.
And that was the problem, and I feel like England had a lot of problems like that. His shirt's gone.
Gerrard's just taking Mane down.
It's one of them with
of course. Are you gonna pick it up? You can't leave it.
Yeah, it's annoying me.
Yeah. It's one of them.
Pick it up. There we go. That's better.
It's one of them things, I think, with Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes. I think one of them had a better attribute than the other. So I think Gerrard had a better thing of being able to get up and down the pitch because I think he was quicker than both of them, so he could do that.
I said this last time, didn't I?
Yeah, Scholes
was good arriving late. I think Lampard was better arriving in late, and I think Scholes was better at literally seeing something or knowing if Scholes hits that pass, I'm going to get it. And I think that's
Have you ever seen some of his not behind the scenes, but you know what I mean, of him like in training, he'd hit the ball and hit somebody with it on the head and 40 yards away. And like, how do you do that? Absolutely expertly. And he did it. I think they played a charity game recently. He did something similar. He made a pass and you were just like, get him back in team.
I think with Lampard, Lampard was more like a striker, to be honest, than a midfielder.
Yeah, I think he was more like your Bobby Charlton type.
Yeah.
Bobby Charlton played number 10, didn't he? But he was like basically almost a striker, but just a little bit further back. So yeah, I agree with you on that. I think Lampard played further forward than both Scholes and Gerrard.
Yeah, definitely.
There's an argument for each player to say who was better. I think there's an argument for each player.
You're going to pick your own player from your own team, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think there is an argument for that.
So, front three now.
The wise Frenchman, Henri Scholes. But no, like I say, it's a stupid argument. It's just pointless, isn't it? But so I'll move on to my wingers now. Left wing, Robben. Just thought he was unbelievable. And I still, to this day, he still irritates me that we were going to sign him and Chelsea came in and do what they do even now with the efficiency and that their transfers is just ridiculous.
Do you know who got his signature for us and got Czech's signature? Ranieri.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he left us with those two on a bad party present now, right?
No, but I don't know if you remember him having him and Duff on the other side were just terrorising teams because you couldn't get at the back four. You know,
I think people have forgotten how good Robben was because Robben was unbelievable.
But he's one of the best players to have ever graced the pitch. I think he's just so good. His feet
injuries, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. Well, yeah, I think injuries cost him. But even with injuries, I think he was still world class, easily world class.
Probably had his best years at Bayern Munich, though, didn't he?
I'm just sort of looking back from my notes from what was it about Chelsea. So Duff was 17 million, Robben was 12.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And Duff was good, but Robben was like on another level.
I was listening to an episode where you talked about Marino's sign. You said you didn't know the war. Robben came with a very high reputation from Holland. He was known to be the next big thing. And I think you mentioned Paulo Ferreira. He was classed as the best right back in the world at that point.
Yeah, but then we signed like Mattia Kezman, and he would come with a big reputation. He was crap.
Yeah, but also another thing is when I listened to episodes with you and Taven as well, and they were like, you were on about how much money they spent, but you've got to remember back then, 12 million, what 12 million is now. 12 million is nothing, is it? Where 12 million back then, it wasn't like massive money because I think
but Taven did say that
24 million. That was a big amount.
Yeah. But Taven did say that. It doesn't seem a lot now, didn't he? He wasn't saying it wasn't a lot then. He just said it doesn't seem a lot now.
Right.
That's what he was saying. Yeah.
So maybe I missed it.
Yeah. I mean, Andy Cole signed him for Man United for 7 million, and everyone thought Man United were mad spending 7 million.
Yeah,
it's like
it was big. It was huge.
You literally won't buy anyone for 7 million.
Bergkamp signing for Arsenal. I think that was was it 13 million?
Was it 13?
For Arsenal from Inter Milan, and then that was major.
Yeah.
Especially. 96, 97. That's a lot.
It's mad, isn't it? And we got Zola for free, so can't argue with that, can you? Good old Bosman.
we got Cantona from Leeds for 1 million. And
Yeah,
even
1
then,
million.
That wasn't even a massive amount, was it? 1 million even then it won.
See, I remember watching I think it was called Football Years on BBC, and it was Fergie's 1990 season, and he were under a lot of pressure at the time, and he spent £1 million on like 3 players, and they were like Gary Pallister and 2 others or something, and everyone were like, he's spending loads, he's a spending spree, and
I thought Gary Pallister's cost 4 million because he was quite.
Maybe it wasn't Pallister, they might have been too. But anyway, it was like £1 million. It was like £1 million or something he spent in one summer, and everyone thought it were a lot of money. And I'm like, bloody hell, £1 million.
It's TV, isn't it? TV.
Yeah.
Completely changed the game. But so if we move on to my other winger, this was a player that I could not stand when he was playing. Absolutely hated.
I know it's going to be.
Not personally, but Robert Perez. What a superb player he was. But I will never forgive him for the unbeaten season where he dives against Pompey in the last minute of the game, and they're going to get beat Arsenal, and he gets a cheating penalty, and they score it to get another draw with the 12 or 13 draws, whatever they got. Yeah, he was a superb player.
You'd have loved him if he played for your team, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
players, yeah.
You look back on people like that, and you're like, he was so good. And they had Freddie Lundberg as well around that time, and they were devastating, on the break and not on the break, because Perez had great feet as well. He didn't need it. I don't even know how quick Perez was, because I don't think he really needed pace. I think he was pretty quick, but I don't think he needed it.
He was good with his feet, though, wasn't he? He was so good with his feet. Yeah.
He used to float across the pitch, did Perez.
Yeah, I bet if you look, when they talk about people being quick, and you see these people like a Dan James who can knock the ball past someone and run onto it with pace. Perez didn't need that, because we're dribbling with the ball at speed. He was unbelievable. I think people like Robin were as well, and that's the difference when you get, because Ronaldinho is a classic example. He wasn't really quick over a long distance, but a short distance, and his control of the ball was so good. Dribbling speed was unbelievable, and Perez was like that for me. He's just dribbling.
Yeah, Perez is probably one of them players that if he got by you struggle to catch up with him.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
That's probably what he was.
So moving on to the last one, then, my striker. This was a very difficult decision because I have 4 players, but 2 of them definitely didn't suit my formation, and 2 of them did. But I went for Shearer in the end. I just thought he's record goal scorer. He can head the ball. He can shoot. He was at decent pace. He just had everything for me. He had everything.
Can't be argued. He's got the most goals in Premier League history as well.
Yeah.
And I was saying, I said that last episode. The thing I think Shearer stands out as well, his knees went and he changed his game and he still scored goals.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I do think, because you hear a lot of people talk about players, and I notice Cantona don't get mentioned now, and I think that's just because of a period of time. Like Lee Dixon, for example, I mentioned today, but he won't get mentioned now. I think that's just a period of time.
No, probably not, yeah.
And eventually the players we're picking here, they just won't get mentioned because so long's gone on and people forget. And you can be remembered for what you did later on in your career, because it's like with Czech, I always think, well, the people think he ain't that good, because you think young kids now, they're seeing back end of his career, not what he did.
Yeah, well, I said that about
career,
Shevchenko, didn't I? Shevchenko's one of the world's best ever strikers, yet he came to us and because he was rubbish. Yeah. People probably think he wasn't a good player, and he was a brilliant player.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I listened to an episode again earlier that Dougie was on about, and I can't remember what it was that you mentioned, but I was thinking of Dennis Bergkamp as a classic example of this. Sometimes just don't work out. Dennis Bergkamp at Ajax was world class. If you'd have asked me about him going to Italy before he went, I'd have said he'd be brilliant. He'll absolutely tear it up in that league, and he was a disaster in Milan. It didn't work out, and if you'd have asked me into Milan if he were going to Arsenal, I'd have been, well, I'm not bothered. He's gone. He's not the same player. And then look what he did at Arsenal. He's his best years. He was unbelievable.
Well, don't you remember Coutinho? He wasn't great in Italy, was he? Liverpool made him a great player.
He was
decent, but he wasn't.
I think he had enough about him because he came with a bit of.
Yeah, but he wasn't. I remember he wasn't. You didn't spend a lot on him, did you?
No, the consistency wasn't there.
It was a Brendan Rodgers signing.
And how good was he for you? He was brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah. You've got to remember sometimes, though, it's his consistency and whether a club's got a lot of money, and you find, like, it's always the case when Man United go in, it costs a lot of money, but how many times have you seen Chelsea and Man United? I mean, they might not be after the same player, but suppose after the same player, and Chelsea don't pay that much money. City don't actually pay that much money despite all the money they've got. They don't pay that much money.
Yeah, they've never gone out. Yeah, they've never gone out and spent like 100 million on a player, have they? Like they've not gone and bought like a Gareth Bale or
Well, I
something
think
like
the
that.
most extravagant things were that didn't they pay 50 million for 2 fullbacks, including Carl Walker?
Yeah. They
So,
spend money on
that's-
defenders.
I've actually got that.
Say that again, Dougie. Sorry.
I've actually got this here with how much. I did have it somewhere.
What Kyle Walker was?
I'll move on to my honourable mentions. Well, I know you guys.
Well, who's your manager? You need to tell us your manager first.
Well, I forgot about that and I didn't pick it. But Dougie, say my saving grace here. I'm going to pick Arsene Wenger. And the day that guy retired was the day I realised how much I respected Arsene Wenger, because I was absolutely gutted when he retired.
Tell you what, he's a good pundit.
I couldn't stand him. Honestly, I could
Yeah,
not stand him.
yeah.
The day he retired, I just felt empty. I was like, well, where does all my hate go now? Where does... And I mean that as a jokey thing. I don't hate people.
Yeah, but you need to hate people. Some people, don't you?
But I think, when you get older, you think, well, hate's a bit of a strong word.
Yeah,
You don't really
yeah.
hate him in the term if you really use the term hate. But I didn't like the guy. And when he left, I just thought, well, Klopp can be annoying sometimes on Guardiola, but I kind of quite like him at the same time as well. So they don't annoy me as much as Wenger did. There was also that rivalry with Fergie and stuff. So you just don't get that intensity. It's like I always say, I want Leeds back in Premier League, because Leeds Man United games are great. They're them games that make you think, I don't want to go into work on Monday morning if I lose this game. You need that kind of intensity in your life.
Working from home.
Football, so. yeah.
See, I still don't really like Guardiola, because I think he's a sore loser. Where, like you say, sometimes you can get annoyed about. No offense, Dougie, but sometimes Klopp can be a bit annoying on pitch. But I feel like after the game, he's a genuine person. I think that's the difference. Where I think Guardiola's a bit fake, mate.
The thing with Klopp is he's a newer manager thing now. The manager who sits on a touchline and just sits there is gone now. This thing now on the touchline is there now. Like,
but I want big on Conte for us, and he will like that.
I loved Conte for that, and I think it's good when you've got managers like that. It's good that they show passion. Because sometimes you can sit there and think, well, do they actually care? Because they're sat there, they're not doing naff all. You think, well,
like
do they
Rice.
I'll pick him up. But you just sort of.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Fergie and Wenger won't like that.
It's a new breed, isn't it? Yeah.
Was the only time Fergie showed emotion is when he chucked his chewing gum out of his gob if they got beat. That was the only time. And then Wenger with that was the only time they'd have the show thing. But now it's like it's constant now, and I like that.
I think Fergie did, but I don't think it was as intense as like Guardiola. Guardiola is the one of the most. I think that's why he gets on my nerves sometimes. And Conte was bad at Chelsea as well. It's just like, oh my god, just calm down, man. Just calm down. It's football. But yeah,
the best one was when Mourinho lost it and hugged the referee. That was brilliant.
Right, so I'll move on to my honourable mentions anyway. I did pick a keeper, and I picked David Seaman because I think he's another one where I'm on about time moves on and people don't like pick him, and I think he was. I think the best keeper of all time is Peter Schmeichel, and I think he was in a league of his own. And there's only one other goalkeeper I would say I would let anybody argue is better than him, and that's Oliver Kahn for Bayern Munich. And I'm sure Bayern Munich fans think he's the best goalkeeper of all time. But then, when you're talking world-class keepers like we're talking Czech, and I think if Alisson keeps going like he is, and what's the guy from Man City? Ederson, I think they could be in that bracket as well. But
I think Ederson's a completely different kind of goalkeeper, though, isn't he? He's like he plays out. He's like a footballer, not a goalkeeper, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's very extravagant with his
just on about David Seaman, I was watching the top 50 FA Cup moments the other day, and it was that save he made against Southampton.
Was it Sheffield?
It was a very good goal.
No, it was against Southampton, wasn't it? In the final.
Sheffield United. It was a semi-final, wasn't it, at Old Trafford?
Oh, was it Sheffield? Yeah, and basically, I think Arsenal won like 1-0 or something. And he said something about, I think somebody missed the sitter, and he said if he'd have scored that, he goes, I wouldn't have been talking about my save. So he thanked him for missing his sitter.
I think as well, he was part of that Euro 96 team that I'm sure we all loved as well.
I don't think England have had a keeper as good as David Seaman since David Seaman retired.
No, it was the only thing is I always remember that goal he scored, that Ronaldinho scored that free kick, and I think Seaman completely messes up on that.
He was injured though, wasn't he? He had a bad back, didn't he?
Was he?
Yeah, they should have played Robinson in that tournament, but he sentiment on it.
Honestly, he was a really good keeper, and I just think it's one of them that people will forget. Like I mentioned with Lee Dixon, they'll probably forget him. But my defender, despite the fact that I mentioned Lee Dixon didn't make my bench either. It was Lauren for Arsenal. I thought he was a superb right back as well, and I think he had pretty much everything that Zabaleta did. I just think Zabaleta was a bit better. I don't really have much else to say. I think it was just a good defender.
Had a nice smile, didn't he?
Everything you want.
You're a beautiful man.
I think he seems to be quite quiet as well. I mean, when there was that rivalry, there were players you hated, like Perez, and I'll never forgive Keown for that dig he did in Nistelrooy's ribs and got away with it. I mean, it's assault. I don't know how you get away with that. But Lauren was one of those players that you don't dislike.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it would just.
It might not have been quiet, but he seemed quiet.
Do you know what I think was good about Lauren though as well? You probably didn't really notice him, and I think that's when a player's good because you didn't have to know it because he just quietly got on with his job.
Also, the thing is, everyone looked more to Arsenal's left hand side, so you look more at Ashley Cole and Perez, but the right hand side used to be Freddie and Lauren, so they really didn't get much of a mention because it was always Perez, Ashley Cole, and Henry down that left hand side.
Yeah.
To notice more. Lauren was a damn good right.
It was, yeah. I think if you look at right backs, I think it is really hard to pick.
Ivanovic, you could have had Ivanovic.
Yeah, he was in the list.
Glenn Johnson.
No, you're all right. Glenn Johnson was good, really good. Glenn Johnson, best season in football was when he played on the wing for Portsmouth. He was on the wing. He should have just been a winger.
In about 15 years' time, right, you can have Trent Alexander-Arnold because I'm telling you now, in about 15
I think he's going to move to midfield, mate.
He will be one of the best right backs in the world.
I think Trent's problem is he's not very good defensively, and I think when he plays for England in a tournament, you
said the same thing last episode.
He's at the best defensively. We haven't seen him properly in the tournament, so it'll be good.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got Reece James coming up on his backside. So
well, neither of them are going to play because our boy's going to play Alan Wan-Bissaka, so forget it.
Does he play for England?
Wan-Bissaka, I think, yeah.
I didn't know he did.
Yeah, he's English, yeah.
I watched a video today, actually. Sorry, a little thing. It was saying about a rivalry between Sterling and Wan-Bissaka. You should watch it. It's quite good.
Yes, there is.
Wan-Bissaka's just pocketed him pretty much every time.
Yeah. Well, that's what Carragher talked about. He said they need to move Sterling because he just doesn't do anything against Wan-Bissaka. In fact, he did actually skin him once, and he skinned him badly as well. He went flying past him, but after that, nothing.
I've only seen.
But I actually would like to see him move forward, Trent for England, and play on the right, and have Wan-Bissaka.
I think that's what he's going to do.
He's got the best of both worlds. He's got the best attacker and the best defender.
I don't think Trent's going to be a right back for him. I think he'll go at midfield, mate. Convinced.
I've only seen Wan-Bissaka have one bad game, and that was sadly when greatly for us when he played at Anfield, and Mane and Robertson running ragged, and I've never seen Wan-Bissaka look so tired.
Do you know why that was though? You've just said it. 2 players on one.
Lost.
He had two players. It's like what you can't defend against that.
Yeah.
Man.
Who plays in front of Wan-Bissaka?
It depends. I don't know if Dan James played in that game, but you would probably.
He's not going to get back though, is he? Him?
Dan James, isn't it?
He's not a defensive. He doesn't get back.
No,
does he, really?
He does. He works really hard. Dan James. Dan James has been really important in some games. He gets a lot of stick.
So the washing machine. So who's your midfielder then?
Well, I went for Yaya Toure because I was looking through the midfielders, and my if I were picking my top 5, I already named 3, and Keenan Scholes will be the other 2, and I'm like, well, who comes after that? But yeah, Yaya Toure was really good for City.
Yeah, he was class, man. I don't think he gets enough credit
actually. In winning the league and stuff.
Give him a birthday cake.
Just a classic. It was built like Vieira. I personally think Vieira was a better player, but
I agree.
Was that kind of build and that kind of.
I think Toure probably had more goals in him, though.
What's that?
I think Toure might have had more goals in him.
I think Toure always looked a bit better playing further forward.
Yeah.
He has to defend, and I think Vieira could defend and could attack, but he was probably a little bit further back than Toure.
He used to struggle getting back because he make about them 60-yard runs and he was dead. After that.
That's the thing about Yaya Toure. After 60 minutes, he used to look dead in his feet.
Yeah.
But
so my striker, I've still got 3 written down. I'll just mention the 2 that didn't make my bench, and it was Zola and Henry. I think you could cover it in the same bracket. 2 absolutely.
You can't say Doug. You put
to not even make the bench. Who was the striker then?
Henry was going to make my first team, but he didn't suit the formation. That's the only reason.
I put him on the left wing, Dan. You could have done that.
Well, I wasn't sure about that because when he first came to Arsenal, he played on left wing. He wasn't very good. When he put him up front, and then suddenly he started smashing goals, and then suddenly
he played there for Barcelona though, so that was my.
He was always better as a striker, but yeah, very very good, very skillful. My reserve striker would be the guy who nearly put as my first choice, and that was Didier Drogba. Because if you're going to play this formation, Didier Drogba is your striker. But
do you know something, right? This is the argument, right? Drogba in cup finals and big games was better than Henry. He used to win cup finals. Henry, how many cup final goals did he get?
He's one of the best big game players of all time.
I think there's only probably. I think, right, this is what I always say, right? I think you put like Shearer and Henry in a category because they're goal scorers, and Van Nistelrooy, players like that. And then I think you have guys like Drogba and Cantona and stuff who used to win big matches.
Believe on the True Geordie podcast when they were trying to say Harry Kane was better than Drogba. Like, are you having a laugh?
No.
Not a chance. Not a chance. If you want a striker to win you a game, you want Didier Drogba, because ask Arsenal fans if he's any good. He used to rip them to bits week in, week out.
Yeah.
He used to do it to Liverpool as well.
Yeah.
He was a big game player that scored goals. I mean, Vidic used to I heard Vidic, evidently, before he was playing Drogba, he used to get on weights because he knew he was going to be in for a rough ride. And that was a guy who was really strong as well, Vidic.
I think there's different lists of strikers. Like, I think there's the goal scorers list, and then there's the ones that did more and were big game players. And for me, Drogba, big game wise, were just.
If you were asking me who I think the best centre back to play in Premier League is, I'd say Jaap Stam. But I tell you what, Zola used to give him a rough time. He couldn't handle it. And it's like Vidic. People talk about Vidic now, the best centre back of all time. Because they like to do this rather than just saying how good they were. They like to be the best of all time. But look at what Torres used to do to him.
Oh, I mentioned that, didn't we?
Although,
you know when,
if you read the stats, if you look, somebody put some stats out about Torres against Vidic, and I think he got sent off. Didn't he get sent off twice against Liverpool really quickly? Didn't we play, was it twice in one season, or we played in a cup game or something? I might be wrong about that, but it seemed to be close to when he got ripped apart by Torres.
Doug acting like he's thinking about it, we don't have a clue.
Yeah. He was sent off at Old Trafford. Yeah,
I remember that one. That was the one where he let the ball bounce, and I'm like, don't ever let the ball bounce.
Got sent off, I think, the year after. Anfield.
That might have been it, because his stats against Torres aren't actually that bad, and when you look back, but I think it's because it happened in quick succession. It's quite fresh in your mind that happens then.
Torres was good against Rio and Vidic.
Yeah, he's played well against both of them, didn't he? Yeah. And John Terry.
But yeah, just for me, Drogba's a big game player. You've got Shearer who suits the formation. Drogba suits. What's that? So Drogba suits the formation. If I were playing,
I could have played well against him.
If I were playing 4-4-2, I'd have definitely picked Henry as one of my strikers.
I sort of cheated to put him on wing.
Yeah, I don't think he's not a winner. He's a striker.
He won a European Cup at Barcelona playing that wing. So it's funny because you talk like Mark Hughes didn't get mentioned and stuff, and like how good he was, but like you say, no one will remember.
Well, where did he play for Barcelona? On the
wing.
Wing. Where did Gary Lineker play for Barcelona? On the wing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's about players suiting your formation, and I think the team I picked, all the players suit.
I think my team would do both your teams.
Beat my team.
I've got Keenan Vieira in midfield and Gerrard running forward free.
Bob always says that's the first Mourinho season of Liverpool's team. Now he always says that's to it.
Right, that we are going to have that debate one day, because when we won the league, then it was harder to win.
What are you going to do? Going to ring Mourinho up and say, "Come on, boys, let's say we get everyone together."
The best team lost.
You'd have had your big game player in Drogba, so he definitely would have scored. And I think Mourinho would have just sat back against Liverpool.
Yeah, we'd have won 1-0.
Sat back in it, Hombre.
We'd have won 1-0.
So anyway, that's a discussion for a different. But yeah, that's my team. It's really hard when you can't pick players from your own team.
Yeah, that's why I think it's
you'd
good.
Probably just pick. Well, you'd obviously just pick all your players.
Dan, just recap as your first full teammate from 1 to 11.
So it's Cech, Ashley Cole, Zabaleta, Terry, Kompany, Vieira, Lampard, Gerrard, Robben, Perez, and Shearer. That's a pretty strong line like that.
Who's your captain?
I went for Terry, but you could have easily gone for Kompany as well.
And
Terry won more as a captain, so I'll go for Terry.
Yeah, I went for Wenger because I forgot about picking a manager, and I was trying to think, and I'm like, oh, Dougie's picked Wenger, that'll do. You're a good manager.
I think obviously. Yeah, but you know what? You talk about time being unkind to Arsene Wenger was a very good manager. It just obviously time passed him by.
But that's what I mean. And you talk about longevity and stuff. But Wenger probably outstayed his welcome at Arsenal really, and it kind of affects how you think about him. And it's same with even if you look back at Shearer at the end with Newcastle and Rooney, he stayed on and wasn't as good as he was in the early years, and he's only. So when you start really looking back at the early years, you start thinking a lot.
Look at Brian Clough at Nottingham Forest. He stayed too long, didn't he? And then they got relegated, didn't they?
I think if you sort of look at the way football is now, then your thanks is to Arsene Wenger, because if it wasn't for him bringing in what he did when he first came in 97, this eating and people running fast. I mean, Gary Neville said we didn't know what Arsenal were eating because it was so thick. They used to run by and think, what are they doing? What are they eating? So
I think as well, it probably saved. Yeah,
league.
It probably saved a few lives, And you think about it, because he got rid of that drinking culture at Arsenal. I mean, we talked about Tony Adams with the drinking and stuff. It was bad, wasn't it?
He did, but he still went out on a Saturday and still the best defender.
Yeah.
Still won a Premier League trophy. So
didn't George Best used to have a few pints before he went on pitch sometimes?
I think Bobby Charlton used to have a cigarette at half time.
Can you imagine that?
I'm reading about the French national team that when Barthez used to be in the shower, you just walking all this smoke used to go across the shower.
See, actually, do you know what? I'm glad you brought Barthez up. I think Barthez now would be outstanding, because I feel like at the time, I think he was kind of ahead of the game, because he was like a ball-playing goalkeeper.
Do you know Barthez reminded me of? Do you know Claudio Bravo?
Yeah, but yeah.
He was better than Claudio Bravo.
He was better than him, but Claudio Bravo wasn't a bad goalkeeper.
He didn't have a great time in the Premier League. That was the problem.
Barthez was full of errors.
But he didn't have a great time in the Premier League.
And
when he scored that chip over him, I was like, he knows Barthez here.
Yeah.
I knew what he was going to do before he did it on me.
But if you think about it, he was almost like a player as a goalkeeper, wasn't he? A bit like I was on about Edison.
He was too short as well. He was like little T-Rex arms at Everton. What's he called?
Little T-Rex arms.
Who?
Pickford. I like Pickford. I think Pickford's good, mate.
It's a song about Liverpool fans.
Goalkeeper. Don't you think as well, though? We're always on about keepers now are prone to errors, but the ball is lighter than it's probably ever been. It swerved.
Yeah.
It swerved. You know what I mean? But how are they expected to do it?
If Pickford were a few inches taller, it'd be unbelievable. It wouldn't be Everton. It'd be
fair, goalkeepers are better in real life than they are on FIFA.
Oh God, they're incredible on that.
They don't save out of the near post. They just come out and punch everything.
Got like Freddy Krueger arms.
What we might do, Dan, is we'll do an episode actually on Arsenal Man United, sort of the Ferg.
At some point, yeah.
I think that'll be a really good episode.
Did you just say the Ferg Wenger?
The Ferg Wenger, yes. It'll be a really good because you can sort of look back now. Because I said when we were all young, looking back at watching Arsenal and Man United, probably more me and you, Dan, because at a time I don't think Bob was really.
I used to watch something. I'm watching an FA Cup game and stuff. Yeah.
The best Arsenal Man U game was the 4-2 at Highbury. Just you can't beat that game.
I think that FA Cup semi-final, mate, in '99. I think that was the best one.
It was a good game. I mean, you had the penalty save.
I could do you a top 5 right now, right? So
did somebody get sent off as well in that game?
Yeah, Roy Keane. Yeah. So you've got that one. You've got the 4-2. You've got the 3-2 at Highbury in 97-98 when was it David Platt?
Hang on, you said Roy Keane got sent off. Well, did they miss league games then? Because he
missed league games.
Final, didn't he?
Because you used to play semi-final. You played semi-final and Munsport final, don't you? The 2-2 at Highbury.
I thought he missed the FA Cup final because of that.
No, he didn't. No, he got injured though.
We took him off.
Yeah, he got injured. Yeah.
Teddy Sheringham.
Yeah. The 2-2 at Highbury where Sol Campbell got sent off. Why does someone always get to get sent off in these games? I've got 4 there.
Didn't he?
I'd have to think of a 5th actually. I lied. I can't name 4. But they're the 4 best.
One of my favourite goals was at Highbury, and it was when Van Nistelrooy sat Sol Campbell on his backside. dribble, and he wasn't dribbling, was he? Really rude, but he absolutely dribbled past them then.
That 2-1 was good when Roy Keane scored twice. Actually, remember that was a good game.
Yeah, that was.
Familiar trend. It's all Man United wins here, Bob. Damn.
I just get the everyone.
Well, even when they won
I think my favourite game when the old bastard Van Nistelrooy at Old Trafford. The old bastard for being a cheat. For being a cheating. Yep.
when Viltord scored like that goal at Old Trafford, they won title. They won a great game.
Oh no, Ashley Cole talking about it, said it were awful. Yeah.
Because neither team wanted. Well, obviously Arsenal wanted to win. So
yeah.
Even on Reading played that game.
No,
I always used to notice that about Man United though. You used to get games where players are missing.
They played cup final aren't the week before or something. Because FA Cup was before end of season that season. So yeah, we'll have to have a discussion on that. The best.
Just give me some warning so I can watch it back because my memory's like. amount of times you've asked me about. I remember you asking me about that Scholes goal against somebody, and I don't know what you're on about.
We'll get Taven on for that one.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We'll do it. We'll have us 4 on for that. That'll be good.
But for like all times, we'll be like.
The debate.
Dougie, you can be Jeff Reeves. I'll be Craig Bellamy. Right then, guess that's that then,
Cool.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Bellamy.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
That's right. So yeah, so that was Danny's 1 to 11. So we're hoping to get, as I said, the rest of the guys to come on and do their 1 to 11. As next episode will be the last season at Highbury, the Highbury years.
Well, hopefully, because nothing goes to plan when we say what was next episode.
Look out for that. But yeah, as ever, you can tweet us at PL Seasons, and our email address is plseasons@gmail.com. So yeah, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Dan. And I said we'll see you for the next episode. And next time we see Danny, he might have a shirt that actually fits him. See you all next time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.